Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing a very special US market limited series craft art marquetry dial in a white gold case. This watch, the Patek Philippe Calatrava Grand Canyon reference 5089G-066, a limited edition of 10, can be seen and purchased on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this wooden dial marquetry timepiece, with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Patek Philippe Calatrava Grand Canyon 5089G. This is a watch that debuted at the Patek Philippe Grand Exhibition in New York City. In 2017, it was one of several bespoke references crafted expressly for the US market, expressly for the event. Now, this watch was exhibited in a section of the indoor extravaganza, and it truly was that, spanning 10 rooms and 3 floors, a building within a building. This was designed to exhibit the Patek Philippe corporate mastery of marquetry, or the art of wood joinery to create images. First, let's talk about how it feels, but then we really do have to speak about how it looks. On my 16 cm circumference wrist, it's a broad and thin timepiece, not large at 38.5 millimeters. It's traditionally sized, but the watch has a profile of only 9 millimeters despite the thickness of the dial, the hunter-style caseback, and automatic winding. From lug to lug, it's a versatile and highly wearable 46 millimeters, so you can easily wear this watch, in my estimation, on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters in circumference. It's a little heavier than you might expect because it does feature a solid gold caseback that swings open to reveal the caliber 240 micro rotor, but make no mistake, the main event is on the dial. Now, the strap is upscale and handsome, calculated to play off the earth tones of the dial. It's a medium brown, medium scale alligator leather with folded edges and a monotone stitch. You can see the calfskin on the underside and a simple polished spade style pin buckle. The dial is the main event. You can see the case is muted, all of high polish, but thin, relatively nondescript. I would call it an elegant simplicity that does nothing to detract from the dial. A broad and flat bezel, a little bit reminiscent of the 5107 in that regard, frames an extraordinary dial depicting America's Grand Canyon. Now, what you're looking at is not miniature painting, and it's not an enameled image. It's not engraved. What it is a set of 20 separate woods. Yes, wood, hand cut, with different grains, different colorations, and different shapes, put together like a jigsaw puzzle with between 200 and 210 individual pieces of wood spanning those 20 varieties of wood used to create the image you see here. Now, this is a watch for which I almost regret having to show you the hands in place because, and this is the best I could do to cover up the hour and the minute hands, superimposing them. The entirety of the dial, let me move it a little bit more, features so much handsome gradient, color, texture, tone, and form that the watch almost becomes an afterthought, yet it's a perfectly functional and practical everyday timepiece. Now, marquetry, of course, the art of creating images with different woods, is, along with gem setting, guilloche, freehand engraving, miniature painting, and enameling, part of the suite of in-house capabilities that Patek Philippe put on show at the exhibition at Cipriani in New York City. Now, the watch features a very subtle and beautifully integrated hunter-style caseback with a simple satin finish on its exterior. You open it up, and it is quite subtle, such that my diminished nails struggle for purchase. And then you can see the caliber 240 micro rotor. Now, the year this watch came out, 2017, the caliber 240 was celebrating 40 years as Patek Philippe's premium automatic caliber. There have been others, like the 315s, the 324s, the 310s and 335s, even dalliances with peripheral rotors with the 350 and 350i, but the 240 has endured because it is both beautiful and efficient. Superbly efficient winding courtesy of the 22 karat gold micro rotor. The advantage is that you get an automatic with the everyday usability that implies in a profile that's exceptionally slim, like a manual timepiece, with the broad and open caseback view that you get from a manual caliber. There's no central winding mass or winding mechanism bridge to obscure the works. Now you can see the tight and even perlage engine turning across the base plate, laid down with hand guidance. Likewise, the richly textured Côte de Genève, which you can see beautifully aligned, and you can see that they're not even in their texture across the waves. They swoosh and sweep, they flare and dim. That's how true Côte de Genève look. This is not the stamped kind that we've become too used to seeing, even in expensive watches. You'll note the edges of the bridge light up in the right light. There you go. You start to see the gleam off the edge, especially right here, of the hand-rounded mirrored finish executed on the edge of every bridge. And as I move it through the light, you'll be able to see just how many screws are black polished, turning black, reflecting light only in a single direction, the highest standard of optical finish. It's all thin and fine and exquisite. It has a 48-hour power reserve at maximum wind with a balanced beating way at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's a Gyromax free-sprung structure that is excellent for taking and holding a precise regulation because there's no mobile stud index, so it can also withstand vibrations, bumps, and disruptions on the wrist better than a mobile stud index could. What you can see is the silicone hairspring Spiromax, as Patek Philippe calls it, endowing this classically assembled craft art watch with robust resistance to magnetism. Finally, you'll note the mirror polished interior of the case, suitable for personalization if you don't wish to personalize the exterior. 27 jewels, ultra thin, automatic winding, but truly and justifiably playing second fiddle to the imagery of the dial. This is a watch that is so beautiful it almost hurts. I wish I could show you in greater depth. I wish I could show you with a macro dial. I wish I could put this under a microscope and show you how seamless the actual seams are between the individual woods. All I can say is that if you buy this, you will be anything but disappointed. This is mystifying, enchanting. This is the magic of watches in a way you never imagined. Not just the romance of the machine, but quite literally an individual work of art for your wrist. One of 10 created, and truly no two among the 10 exactly the same. You can see and own this one on our website.